October 12th, 2013, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The city is waking up to a crisp autumn weekend. But for a group of friends, the morning brings a cold chill that has nothing to do with the weather. A 27-year-old woman doesn't show up for work. No call, no text. Her phone goes straight to voicemail. Her social media accounts? Silent. In the digital age, silence isn't just golden. It's terrifying. Because when a young woman vanishes without an electronic trace, it doesn't mean she's hiding. It means she's been erased. This is the story of Kelly Dwyer and the man who claimed he loved her. Kelly Dwyer was the kind of person who lit up a room before she even walked into it. She had moved to Milwaukee from Minnesota to attend the Art Institute. By 2013, she had found her rhythm. She worked part-time as a nanny and at a high-end athletic apparel store. She was a yogi, a free spirit, and a loyal friend. But Kelly was also single in a city that loves to party, and like millions of women her age, she was navigating the messy, exhilarating, and often dangerous world of modern dating. One man, however, seemed to be different from the rest. His name was Chris Zacco. To the outside world, Chris was a catch, a graduate of Boston University, a former IT staffer for the New York Yankees. Yes, his office was literally inside Yankee Stadium. By 2013, Chris was the chief information officer at a relocation management company in Milwaukee. He drove a nice car. He lived in a luxury high-rise on the east side, the Lafayette Towers, floor 18. He was 38 years old. Kelly was 27. They had been introduced by a mutual friend about a year earlier. But while Kelly was making future plans, the investigation would later reveal that Chris was using a very different set of vocabulary to describe their relationship.
Chris Zacco described his relationship with Kelly Dwyer as friends with benefits. It was a mismatch of expectations that would soon erupt into a nightmare. Let's go back to the last night Kelly was ever seen alive. It is Thursday, October 10, 2013. Just after 10 p.m., Kelly arrives at Chris Zacco's high-rise. The security cameras capture her entering the lobby. She's wearing a hoodie, looking relaxed.
He said, "I remember her and I having a small conversation of, 'So what do you have to do tomorrow?' And she goes, 'I actually have off. I want to wake up in the morning, I want to do yoga, I want to do laundry, and just have an easy day.'" Yoga, laundry, an easy day. Kelly had no idea she was scripting the epitaph for a life that would never happen. The bar closes around 2 a.m. The three of them, Kelly, Chris, and Chanel, head back across the street to the 18th floor. Inside the apartment, Chanel immediately feels uneasy. She steps out onto the balcony to smoke a cigarette. Chris follows her. Chanel leaves. Kelly stays. The security cameras in the hallway capture the last image of Kelly Dwyer alive. It is 2:37 a.m. She turns the corner with Chris Zacco toward his front door. The door clicks shut. The next morning, Kelly doesn't show up for her shift. Her coworkers call her cell. Nothing. They call Chris. Nothing. By Saturday, October 12th, her mother files a missing persons report.
When Detective Tammy Trammell McLean arrives at the Lafayette Towers to interview Chris Zacco, he is calm, cooperative. He invites the police in. He tells them a story. He said they walked back, they do lines of cocaine, they have a couple more drinks. He says there was sex, and they both passed out on opposite ends of his couch. Chris claims he woke up around 9 a.m. He says he heard the front door click. He assumed Kelly left for her yoga class. He says he went back to sleep. There is just one problem with that story. While Detective Trammell McLean is interviewing Zacco, she gets a text message from an officer downstairs who is reviewing the security footage. The cameras cover the lobby, the elevators, and the garage. Kelly Dwyer walked into that building at 2:30 a.m. She never walked out. The police don't arrest Chris Zacco for murder that day. They don't have a body, they don't have a weapon. But they do have a warrant to search his apartment. And inside that pristine 18th floor condo,
The image of the Yankee IT guy begins to shatter. First, they find the drugs, cocaine, marijuana, but then they open his computer.
16 counts of possession of child pornography. Suddenly, the friends with benefits narrative takes on a dark new hue. But the most chilling piece of evidence is found on Chris Zacco's cell phone. It is a video, recorded just 3 weeks before Kelly vanished. The video shows Kelly Dwyer. She is blindfolded, her hands are bound. Chris Zacco is engaging in a violent sex act, specifically breath play involving strangulation. In the video, Kelly is struggling to breathe. She appears to be losing consciousness.
Investigators would later interview other women. They found that Chris Zacco had a history of sexual asphyxiation going back to high school. He was a sexual deviant, hiding in plain sight. But if Chris killed Kelly during sex, where is the body? He is charged with the drugs and the child porn. He posts a massive bail, $250,000, and gets out of jail. For 19 months, he walks free. He goes to the grocery store, he gets coffee. Meanwhile, Kelly's mother is searching a landfill. Police dogs hit on the scent of human remains in Zacco's bedroom. They hit on a missing shower curtain. They hit on the trash chute on the 18th floor. Police spend days sifting through the Menominee Falls landfill. They find nothing. The trail is cold. It seems like Kelly Dwyer has simply vanished from the earth. To understand how police finally caught Chris Zacco, you have to understand the timeline of the morning after. Chris told police he woke up, heard a click, and went back to sleep. But security footage and phone data tell a different story. Let's look at the evidence. At 10:06 a.m. on October 11, Chris Zacco is seen driving his Audi away from the parking garage. He returns 16 minutes later. What happened in those 16 minutes? Police believe that was the disposal window, that he carried a heavy bag down the service elevator and into the trunk. But it's what happens that evening that breaks the case open. At 6:16 p.m., Zacco leaves again. He tells police he went to his mother's house to drop off summer sports equipment. Specifically, a large travel bag for golf clubs. Prosecutors believe that golf bag no longer contained golf clubs. They believe it contained the body of Kelly Dwyer. At 7:43 p.m., Chris Zacco does something a tech professional would do when he doesn't want to be tracked. He removes the SIM card from his cell phone. For the next 17 hours, Chris Zacco is a ghost. He drives west, way west, toward Madison. At 12 p.m. the next day, he resurfaces. He buys a pair of shoes in Delafield, Wisconsin. He puts his SIM card back in at 2:41 p.m. But investigators pull his bank records. They trace his route. They notice he took a very specific detour, a dead-end road in the town of Sullivan in Jefferson County, a rural wooded area about 38 miles from Milwaukee. In May of 2015, a man walking his dog along that dead-end road makes a gruesome discovery. Scattered down an embankment, hidden in the thick brush, are human skeletal remains. Dental records confirm the truth. Kelly Dwyer has been found. You would think a body on a remote road is an open and shut case. But remember, Chris Zacco is already in prison by this time. He was convicted on the child pornography charges and sentenced to 19 years. To convict him of murder, you need a timeline. You need a confession. Enter Dontrell LaFleur, a prison snitch. LaFleur tells police that Zacco confessed to him in prison. He says Zacco told him that a woman died during sex, that he wrapped her in a shower curtain, and that he dumped the body on the outskirts of town. The defense tears LaFleur apart. They even bring forward other inmates who claim LaFleur tried to fabricate the story. But the prosecution doesn't need the snitch. They have the silence. The trial, which finally happens in 2018, is a masterclass in circumstantial evidence. The jury sees the apartment. They see the video of Kelly being strangled just weeks before she died. They see the GPS data showing Zacco driving to the exact spot where her bones were found. And they see the most damning piece of video evidence of all: Kelly walking into the lobby, alive, and never, ever walking out. The defense argues that maybe she took the stairs, maybe she left through the parking garage when the cameras were blocked. But the jury doesn't buy it. On October 5, 2018, after just 2 hours of deliberation, the verdict is read. Chris Zacco is convicted of first-degree reckless homicide, hiding a corpse, and strangulation. He is already serving 19 years for the child porn. He will likely die in prison. The case of Kelly Dwyer is often held up as a warning about online dating, about the risks of rough sex defenses, about the hidden monsters in our society. But her friends want you to remember something else. They want you to remember the yoga, the laughter at the bar, the girl who hugged her friends tight. In the weeks before she died, Kelly told her yoga instructor that something big was going to happen, that she could feel it. She was like, "Something big is going to happen. I can feel it. This feels really important to me." She was right. Something big did happen, but it wasn't the promotion, the wedding, or the adventure she dreamed of. It was a monster, hiding behind a nice smile and a condo on the 18th floor. Kelly Dwyer was 27 years old. She wanted to do yoga. She wanted to do laundry. And she wanted a quiet, easy day. She never got it. But because of the tireless work of her friends, the Milwaukee police, and a jury who saw through the lies, justice finally came home.